Hey guys, today we have something really cool to show you if you're looking to get levels quickly, a ton of gold, and a bunch of legendaries in your Diablo 4 playthrough. Doing this method, we've got hundreds of thousands of gold even in the early game before finishing the campaign, as well as a bunch of legendaries, so we're not only juiced for leveling, but we have them as aspects for later on in the game. And of course, by juicing our XP, we can defeat the mobs even easier, and we're doing all of this farming in the highest world tier that we can right now, obviously before completing the campaign, which is world tier 2, so we get even more XP and better drops to get those juicy legendaries. We have two tried and tested methods to show you today, so if we hook you up with this video, hit that like button down below. It's a YouTube algorithm thing, but it really helps us out, so thank you for supporting us. But just before we jump into it, I wanted to say a big thank you to Nvidia for hooking us up with some GPUs so we can play Diablo 4 with DLSS 3. With the power of DLSS 3, it uses AI super resolution to get a massive boost to your frame rate by up to 4 times. We've noticed a big improvement ourselves, so thank you again to Nvidia for juicing up our PCs so we could play Diablo 4 on max settings. So first up, we're going to show you how to repeatedly farm this specific cellar that also has a world event right outside next to it. It's actually insane. The reason this is great is because the cellar can spawn not only elite mobs with a chest reward at the end, but also an event itself inside that then gives you the giant radiant chests that have great gear inside for you to pick up. On top of that, the world event outside then gives you another event to clear with another chest reward, and this can be looped very quickly. So this is a ultra fast way to get not only a ton of gear, XP, but also the opals from these events that you can then use at the mystery vendor to get even more legendary items. It all feeds in together, it's super fast, and you don't want to miss out on doing this. Furthermore, these cellars can actually spawn the Treasure Goblins inside. Thanks to DM Diablo 4's channel, who you should definitely check out, you can seemingly see that there's a chance to get 3 Treasure Goblins spawn at once inside of a cellar. So by repeatedly farming it, you're also increasing your chances of encountering something like this, which means you'll get a bunch of instant free legendaries. So to do this, you want to go to the southwest of Shad. It's super close by, you can see it here on the map. This works both solo or with a friend. I'm playing in a party, so we'll demonstrate with that. Simply, all you want to do is go inside of the cellar and defeat the elites or the event inside and pick up your loot. After this, leave the party, and that will then fast travel you back to the entrance of the cellar, except it's going to have respawned. If you're playing solo, you can leave game and then rejoin to do this. But if you are in a party, at this point invite your friend back, and then go over and defeat the world event that's nearby for even more XP and loot. It's not going to be there 100% of the time, but it is there pretty often. Once this is done, then make your way back into the cellar and repeat the process. Clear the cellar again, leave party or game if you're solo, load back in, invite your friend, clear the world event, and just loop it back to back like this. By doing this, you will rack up a whole ton of loot, a whole bunch of legendaries. You can then sell these things for gold, or you can dismantle them down for their transmog and materials. You also have the opals to go to the mystery vendor, and so it just all feeds into getting you more gear and power. We found that this was really good for getting legendaries and XP very quickly. On top of that, it's so fast to repeat that you can exit at any time without losing too much stuff, like leaving a dungeon midway through. With the world event right next to it, and the fact that you can instantly repeat farm both the cellar and that event, it is very fast to get the rewards and a lot of XP. So I have a feeling this one might not stick around for too long. But if you prefer to do dungeons that are a little bit more involved, then we have another amazing farm for you here. The Dead Man's Dredge in the lower east of the map, you can see it on screen now, is a fantastic repeatable dungeon to farm with a similar method. It also has a world event right outside of it too. This means we can repeat the same method as before with the cellar, but here by clearing the entire dungeon out, then leaving party or leaving game, and then inviting your party member back, and then doing the world event, and then repeating the dungeon. This is very similar to the previously mentioned cellar that you can farm, however the dungeon is of course a bit longer, but will have a few more elites and things inside of it. So depending on your preference and how fast you want to get XP or gear, you can try out one of these two methods. Doing the cellar and the world event is definitely my personal preference, but the dungeon and the world event is also a very good farm. They're both good in their own right. It It really depends if you want more drops from elites in the dungeon, or if you want more frequent events and opals to try your luck at the mystery vendor and of course the chest at the end of those events. We've already got a ton of legendaries, which I've already broken down into aspects, and now I'm starting to juice my character up. So as you can see, if you spend more time here, you're going to get a bunch of gold, a bunch of XP and levels, and a ton of legendaries. If you have any awesome farming spots that you found, make sure to put them in the comments down below. And if we hooked you up, hit that like button as well. It really helps. Thank you for watching, and the 2 videos on screen now, we think you'll really enjoy if you did enjoy this one. You don't have to watch them if you don't want to, but if you did like this video, you're probably going to like these ones too. And then tell us what you think after watching in the comments down below.